Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for a video I didn't really have planned, but yesterday I took some time to sit down and casually play Battlefront 2 for a couple of hours, because I just wanted to check out not only the content, but where the game is as a quote-unquote complete product right now. As you guys know, yesterday's update was the final content update for Battlefront 2, which makes yesterday's update far more important than your average monthly update. Even though I have like 10 videos I really need to get made right now, I wanted to take today and just talk about this final Battlefront 2 content update, and whether or not this really is the end as far as bug fixes go, because this is going to be a major deciding factor on how this update is viewed by most people going into the future. Thankfully though, due to a couple of dev comments, there may still be some bug fixes coming. Now, before we jump into that discussion and my update review, we do have a quick sponsor for today's video, Displate. These guys reached out to me last month, and I knew right away I wanted to find a way to work together. Displate is a company who makes some really awesome metal posters, and they are official partners with a ton of major brands. Star Wars, Marvel, DC, most of the big names you can think of. Displate had me pick out 3 of their products that I liked so they could send them my way and I could check them out before recommending them to you, and I decided on these 3, one for my favorite show, one for my favorite single player game, and one for Star Wars, which was a no-brainer. However, when I received my Displate shipment, I was pretty shocked to find out that Displate had sent me not 3, but 12 in total, including 7 Star Wars Displates, and these things are just awesome. I haven't been able to hang them up yet because I'll be having to move in just a couple of weeks, which I am really not looking forward to, but one thing I am looking forward to is hanging these bad boys up because they look so great in person and the prints are super high quality. I'm already wanting a couple more I've seen on their website. I am a huge Iron Maiden fan and I have been kicking myself for not picking out one of those designs in the first place. You can get these in a variety of sizes to fit your needs, and I highly recommend checking Displate out. If you are interested in picking up some Displates, for the next 7 days you can get yourself a massive 30% discount by using my link in the description below. All you have to do is use my link down below, and the discount will automatically be applied when you check out, but the offer is only standing for the next 7 days, so you do have to do it in the next week. Thanks again to Displate for sponsoring, and let's get into the video, where I actually want to start out with my thoughts on the 5 hero skins that were just released yesterday morning, and these have been pretty controversial in the community, mostly because these are almost certainly the final hero skins we will ever get in Battlefront 2. We may as well start out with the 2 Rey skins, the first of which is just her Rise of Skywalker skin, but with a yellow lightsaber, and the second one is, again, just a Rey skin that was already in the game, but now with a hood. These skins, at least for what they are okay. The one with her yellow lightsaber has probably been planned since the Rise of Skywalker update, but for obvious reasons this one is just being released right now. I really do think the Rey hooded skin was thrown together at the very last second. I have a feeling this was not meant to be the last update, and the whole Takodana Easter egg honoring the developers was something that they just wanted to do as a team, and they knew most people outside of the diehards wouldn't even bother with that Easter egg unless there was some sort of reward, and I think the second Rey skin was just one they could do really easily. The other skins for the sequel era are the hooded Kylo Ren appearance and Palpatine's Rise of Skywalker skin. The hooded Kylo Ren is fine, I mean, what do you expect? It's just Kylo Ren with his reforged helmet and a hood. Personally, I've always just used the pre-order skin since the beginning of the game, so I probably will rarely, if ever, use this one. The Rise of Skywalker Palpatine is a skin that a lot of people have really been complaining about, mostly because Palpatine does have other possible appearances that definitely were way more highly requested. But this skin, at least for what it is a well done appearance. At first glance, it probably looks like this skin changes very little outside of his belt and the red accents of his robe, but if you do compare the two side by side, his robes are completely different, his face has been retextured to make him look older, and his eyes have also been slightly recolored. For some reason, even though they did make him look older, he still really doesn't look like Palpatine did in Episode 9. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like his face needed more than a few additional wrinkles to match his look in that movie. Before we talk about the Maul skin, I should at least address why people are complaining, and I don't think it's because these skins aren't good, it's more that there are about a million other skins the community definitely requested a lot more than some of these, and now that the final content update is here, we aren't ever going to get those officially, which is a bummer. I don't think you can deny that. I can think of so many appearances the community would have went absolutely wild for, but as it stands we have 4 appearances that are perfectly fine, and that's where I'll leave it. The fact that we are never going to get skins like Bespin Luke is just kind of crazy to me. That is such an iconic appearance that really needed to be in the game, and here we are with skins that are far less iconic, but DICE put the resources into making. The standout appearance from the update is definitely old Master Maul, or the Rebels version of Darth Maul. The downside to this skin is, of everyone watching right now, it's highly unlikely many or any of you have even been able to use this skin yet, because it's locked behind 5,000 kills as Darth Maul, and all 5,000 of those kills you have to do online. Also, no, if you are wondering, I am not a crazy person who has somehow already unlocked this skin. I just jumped on PC last night so I could use it and show it off to you guys. I am very thankful for a modder named Innie, who released a mod that switches Maul's default appearance with the new one, which lets me show it off to you guys. If some of you are feeling like 5,000 kills is impossible for you to get because other players are getting Maul before you, and also 5,000 is a staggering amount of kills, Ben did say this morning that the team is looking into changing the 5,000 kill requirement, and you should be able to keep whatever progress you have once that requirement is changed. I imagine they're going to lower it somewhat, which honestly makes sense. I don't think I hated the 5,000 kill challenge as much as some people did, but I 100% understand why some people think it's absolutely ridiculous. If you ignore the requirements to unlock the skin and just look at the appearance itself, when it comes down to it, I am at least glad Maul has a second option for an appearance on console. Was this appearance the best choice of what they could have done for Maul? In my opinion, no. I'm not someone to compare DICE to modders all the time, but man, when you look at some of the skins modders have been able to put out for Maul, it is pretty crazy what they've been able to do, and I know they don't have to work with Disney and such, but when I'm on PC, I'm probably just going to use a modded skin most of the time. Some of the work modders have been able to do is absolutely and unbelievably impressive. I also think the official Rebels Maul skin kind of makes Maul look like a middle-aged dad in a cycling competition, but hey, everyone goes through that phase, right? Moving on from the skins to talk about Scarif itself, I really do like Scarif. Scarif was one of my favorite locations in Battlefront 2015, and I think DICE did a really good job of reworking the map to fit it in co-op and Supremacy. I think a lot of us assumed the layout of the map would stay exactly the same as the Battlefront 2015 version, but it definitely didn't. If you look at images from the map up in the sky, they completely changed the layout of several different portions of the map, which they probably had to if they wanted to work command posts in without them being very awkwardly placed. I personally prefer the dusk version of the map. In my opinion, the daytime version is almost too bright. It makes the colors of the map look very washed out, and hopefully that's something they can tweak. Supremacy in the original trilogy is about what you'd expect. There's no second phase, which we've known for months, which I'm not gonna lie, it's a huge bummer there isn't a second phase, and I think after the initial hype dies down, I'm probably going to mostly stick to the prequel era in Supremacy. I just feel like that is the most refined version of that game mode. Actually, by far, I think it's way more refined than the OT and the sequel trilogy Supremacy versions. As far as co-op goes, I tend to play the prequel and original trilogy maps pretty equally, and I don't see that changing going forward. The new Crate HVV map has so far been impossible for me to get, but the map has been playable on PC since January of 2018, so over 2 years. Obviously, it was only accessible via mod since it just sat in the files unused, but I am glad it's in the game officially now. It's a beautiful map. I wish the Galactic Assault version also had a sunset variant. When it comes to the hero and especially reinforcement changes, well, those are going to get their very own video, but it's a mixed bag to say the least, some good and some newly broken things. That brings me to my overall conclusion here. While I do think Battlefront 2 has had a lot of really great updates, and if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm very excited to have the time to cover some other Star Wars stuff now that Battlefront 2 is slowing down, but I have to wonder if this is really where they're going to leave the game as far as stability and bug fixes go. I think if this were your average update and not the final one, I would say this is a pretty decent update for the most part. Is it as good as some of the best ones from late last year? In my opinion, no, but it's definitely better than a lot of updates we've had in the past. However, as a final update, it absolutely does leave a lot to be desired as far as game stability goes. Right now, Anakin is very buggy. Original Trilogy Supremacy is filled with glitched lobbies where you load in and everyone is on the same side so it never starts, and that's a bug that still plagues HVV and Galactic Assault and really needs to be fixed. I can't imagine they're just going to leave it that way forever. Also, last night I was playing as Maul in Original Trilogy co-op, and the entire time the announcer was the Separatist announcer from the Clone Wars.
First phase done. New commands incoming.
There are about a million other bugs I could list, but those are just 3 major ones I was having to deal with in just a couple hours of game time last night. I know the patch notes had a known issues section, but does that mean they're going to fix those issues, or just leave them as is forever? I just feel like EA is kind of stupid, like just have a handful of devs stick with the game who can create skins and fix bugs. I seriously think most of the community would stay interested in updates even if the only content coming out were a couple monthly skins and balancing fixes until the next installment. Maybe I shouldn't even be discussing this because we may still be getting bug fixes and balancing. I honestly don't really know, it's not clear. One of the devs, I believe it was on Reddit, said they are currently monitoring the game, so maybe a handful of devs are going to be working on that sort of thing. I really don't know. To condense my overall thoughts on this update into just one sentence, I would say that if this were a regular monthly update, pretty solid as far as updates go, but as a final update, it leaves the game with a lot of gaping holes that may be addressed, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'm kind of overwhelmed with videos I need to make right now, both Battlefront 2 and other Star Wars stuff, so expect pretty frequent content from me over the next couple of weeks. Honestly guys, I am kind of really hyped to stretch my legs and cover some other Star Wars content. Like I talked about earlier this week, every time I've tried it, you guys have been super receptive to it. Even the one time I just took a random nostalgia dive into games from 2005, you guys were all over it. So I'm feeling pretty motivated right now to make a ton of content, plus there's still a ton of Battlefront stuff that I need to make. Anyway guys, thank you all so much for watching. Expect a video on Saturday for sure, and probably Sunday as well. With that said, I will see you in the next one. Bye.